I used to live in the shadow of my own yesterday. Every mistake, every regret, every moment I wished I had been someone else clung to me like a weight I couldn't shake. I was trapped in a version of myself that I no longer recognized, chained by fear, doubt, and the stories I told myself about who I was supposed to be. I would wake up, look in the mirror, and feel a stranger staring back, a person I had grown comfortable hating, comfortable avoiding, comfortable blaming for every disappointment in my life. I remember the nights, long and suffocating, when I'd replay every failure in my mind like a cruel movie on repeat. The words I hadn't spoken, the chances I hadn't taken, the people I had pushed away, the opportunities one let slip, all of it became a chorus of shame in the quiet darkness. And I thought, this is me. This is who I am. I will always be this person. But deep down, something whispered, something small but unyielding, you are more than this. You don't have to stay here. Breaking free from your old self is not a sudden explosion. It is not a dramatic announcement or a single, heroic act. It is a quiet rebellion, a small spark igniting inside you until it grows into a fire that refuses to be ignored. I started noticing the tiny lies I had been telling myself, that I wasn't worthy, that I didn't deserve love, that success was only for other people. I started questioning every thought, every habit, every voice that told me to stay small. And for the first time, I realized, I had been living for everyone else but me. The first step was brutal. I had to confront my own reflection without flinching. I had to admit all the ways I had played it safe, all the ways I had hidden behind excuses, all the ways I had let fear dictate my life. I had to feel the discomfort of my own truth. And it hurt. It hurt worse than anything anyone else could have done to me. But pain, I learned, is a compass pointing you toward freedom. I started letting go. First, the people who drained me. The toxic conversations, the constant comparisons, the endless judgments that weren't mine to carry. I realized that breaking free meant creating space for myself, space to breathe, space to think, space to dream. I began to fill that space with small, intentional acts, reading words that inspired me, moving my body, writing down what I truly wanted, no matter how impossible it seemed. I began to reclaim the parts of myself I had abandoned, the curiosity, the courage, the joy I had buried under layers of self-doubt. Every day, I practiced a simple, terrifying question: who do I want to be today? And every day, I made a choice, small or large, to inch closer to that person. Some days, it was as simple as speaking up when I wanted to speak. Other days, it was leaving a job, ending a friendship, or saying no to something I had been saying yes to for the wrong reasons. Step by step, decision by decision, I chipped away at the old walls that had kept me imprisoned. I also learned to forgive myself, truly forgive. For every mistake, every failure, every moment I had allowed fear to rule me. I understood that my past self had been doing the best she could with the tools she had at the time. And that acknowledgement, that compassion, became the fuel I needed to move forward. I stopped dragging the weight of my history behind me and began walking with it at my side, as a reminder, not a burden. Breaking free is messy. It is uncomfortable. It is scary. There were days I wanted to retreat, to return to the familiar cage of my old habits, my old identity, my old self. But I realized that true freedom doesn't come from comfort. It comes from courage. From choosing the unknown over the familiar, from risking discomfort to embrace growth. I thought of people like Oprah, who rose from poverty and pain to inspire millions, or Steve Jobs, who risked everything to build something that didn't exist yet. They weren't fearless, they simply refused to let their past define their future. And I realized, neither should I. I started to celebrate the new me, not in grand gestures, but in quiet acknowledgements. I celebrated the mornings I woke up with intention, the evenings I spent reflecting instead of regretting, the moments I chose creativity over stagnation, compassion over resentment, action over fear. I discovered that freedom is not one dramatic moment, it is a collection of small victories, a series of choices, a commitment to becoming who you were always meant to be. And then came a moment, subtle but profound, when I realized I had become someone I no longer feared. I looked in the mirror and saw not a stranger, but an ally. I saw a person who had been broken, battered, and bruised, and had risen anyway. I saw a person who had learned to trust herself, to speak her truth, to chase her dreams with relentless determination. I saw freedom reflected back at me, and for the first time, I understood that breaking free is not about leaving your old self behind, it's about transforming, evolving, and embracing the person you were always capable of becoming. So I speak to you now, in the quiet moments when doubt whispers in your ear, you are capable of breaking free. You are capable of shedding the chains of your past, of leaving behind the fears, regrets, and habits that no longer serve you. It will be messy, it will be hard, and there will be days you want to give up. But every choice to rise, every act of courage, every moment you reclaim yourself brings you closer to the life you were always meant to live. Your old self is not your enemy, it is your starting point. Your journey is not about erasing the past, it is about creating your future. Step by step, choice by choice, moment by moment, you can break free, and in that freedom, you will discover the power, the joy, and the peace that has been waiting for you all along. And when that day comes, when you finally look in the mirror and see yourself whole, unshackled, and alive, you will understand something profound. Breaking free was never about escaping, it was about becoming.